World U5, U5 Entertainment, Fantasy, Embassy Sky, Kingdom, rest in peace. Sony, Slick, Asp, Zan, Heck, Joe, and DG.
All right, guys, what's up? This is Rated U5. We're ready to kick this off with. Oh wait, we've got the wrong bond. Hold on, let me go see this. We got the wrong bond over here. Hold on. It must be a glitch. It must be a glitch. All right, now. What's good? What's good? I was just kidding. This is Rated U5. This is U5 News Flash, number 8, episode 8. And today we have a great guest who's been in the game for a bit. Left a landmark crew, leads a landmark crew called the Drug Crew out of Brooklyn, NYC. And we're going to get into discussion real quick. I just wanted to go and bring on our guest here. Bond One, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, brother? How's everything going?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Happy New Year.
You also, brother. God bless. God bless.
Yeah, so we've never really actually interacted or crossed paths. And if we did, we probably didn't know it at that point. Because I'm from Brooklyn, you're from Brooklyn, I'm from Bushwick, you're from Bronzeville.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I wanted to learn a little bit more about, the crew that you led. I want to let you get into that and speak for yourself, but tell me a little bit about Drug Inc. or the Drug Crew per se.
Okay. I started Drug Crew in 1976. East New York, Brooklyn. Started it with a guy named Same. He wrote Same from Franklin K. Lane. Wrote not that much with it because it wasn't really a successful crew for me in the beginning. And then once I started bombing by myself, putting it up, which was in like 80, 81, 82, I started hitting and I started getting people, meeting people and putting people down. As far as incorporating, I actually started incorporating on MySpace when I came back into the graffiti world in like 1995, 96. I started incorporating crews. One of my partners from when I was bombing, KC1 was one of the first crews that I incorporated was RIA, which was his crew, and then we incorporated TBC. I got a couple other crews with us and TVS and stuff like that. But then when it really started getting to the point where it was just Drug Inc. It was never really actually incorporated. But like 8 years ago, 7 years ago on Facebook, I took it to a different level and I incorporated it, copywrote it. I copywrote Dirty Rebels Underground, which is what it originally stood for. And now we also do Doing Righteous Under God.
So hold on for a sec. Let's roll back a little bit because you said that you started this back with a gentleman that wrote Saint or Sane.
No, Casey Waters. No, I met Sane back in like 78 or 79.
Now, which Sane? Because you had, Sane and Smith, but you also had the other Sane, SAIN.
Yeah, SAIN, Sane Top.
That's what I wanted to know. Top Crew.
Yeah, because he was from my neighborhood. Saint and those guys, they didn't start until pretty much after I
Right. And so like this whole thing with Drug Inc. I mean, it doesn't sound like a graffiti crew. It sounds like a business. So you hear Inc. Incorporated. You're thinking business. What did that have to do? How did you go and meld that with graffiti? How did that transpire?
Yeah, it's really not a business at all. Basically, what I did was I unified crews that used to have beef with each other, such as RTW, Wow Crew, TVS, incorporated them with crews that, you know, were incorporated with. We have over 350 crews incorporated with Drug Crew. So what I did was I unified everybody and put people that like used to have beefs and squashed it. At one of my gatherings that we had in Coney Island, probably about 9 years ago, I brought together Jazz, SR, a couple other people that had beef with RTW Wow, and Bo was there, and you know everybody shook hands and hugged it out, and that's what
Wow.
to me that's what graffiti was always about. It was always about unifying and bringing people together. I used to go at that time. I was a little kid, man. I was small, you know. I was like 5'2", 5'3", 80 pounds soaking wet. But I'd go into the Bronx, I'd go into Manhattan, I'd go into Quinn. And it's not that I didn't care. I just didn't realize like that. It didn't matter. I bought like John 156. I bought John 156 to my neighborhood. I
Nice.
bought Min came to my house. Sane came to my house. Is the Wiz came to my house. Um, Dynamite 149 used to be one of my partners that used to come with Clyde from MAG Crew. KC, of course. Doc 2, the Doc 2 from the J Line, Prime 79, Little Star, 7DS. All of these guys used to come to my block and hang out with me and hang out in my house there.
Hmm.
And that's what I was doing, introducing and bringing people. I bought YD to my house. I bought Python to my house, SR to my house, TE We, TNV crew. All of these crews that had beef with everybody, we'd have a meetup and everything, and we'd squash all of the beef and just get it, you know, worked out. And that we didn't have to have that, you know, at that point where everything was starting to melt down and things were going in different ways. I was pulling it back in and making it, you know, a better thing to have because the way things were starting to go with the wars that were going on, with Cap going over everybody and everything like that, I was
Right.
going, yeah, I was hitting the opposite direction. I was trying
I
to
was
get it to
just
where everybody,
watching the video Star Wars with Cap, and when
yeah,
you're talking about settling beef, Cap came into mind right there. You know,
yeah, yeah,
and I know, you know, what you're discussing right now. I got into the game right after my brother did. He got involved like early 80s, probably about 80, 81. I got involved probably about 83, 84 or whatnot. But that those beefs that occurred, you know, because everyone heard about the beefs with RTW. They were had beef with just about everyone, and everyone's was warring with these guys who've been in them. And I believe they also were you involved with the RTW KO beef before Pizer passed away? May he rest in peace. And RE.
yeah. That was when I was just about leaving.
And,
That's when everything, because that was, yeah, that was these guys from that was RE, Jazz, Pizer. That was the MOG crew. MOG and them
Masters of
with
Graffiti. Yeah,
RTW. Yeah, that was short lived too, because that was
yeah.
something that was just, I don't know what happened with that whole thing, but that was right as I was leaving, that was going on. My beef was prior to that, and it really didn't really have anything to do with graffiti going over anything or anything like that. What had happened was I was getting up and they wanted to find out who I was. And then Min came to my house and got into a beef with Rolly, got into a fight with Rolly in my house, and Rolly um, tripped Min. Min fell over his bike and broke his leg. My sister had to take him to the hospital, everything. And so after that happened, I wanted to have him beef with RTW, wow, and it was like I didn't even realize what was going on.
Uh,
So, but
and
it
that's
wound up getting,
Rolly was RY, right? He wrote RY for
yeah.
short.
There was two RYs. There was the RY that wrote with CS, and then the
Rudy.
Rolly that wrote with TNV.
Yeah, I think one was Rudy, I think, and then another Raleigh.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Rudy
I,
is the one with CS in them from that area. But
TFK Task Crew, whatnot,
yeah,
CS.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I wasn't
So
really you know, engaged so much with all these names and all the graph whatnot. And like I said, I came on board like mid 80s, and then kind of wrap things up before I joined the service. But it was amazing that that was occurring in just a couple of neighborhoods away from where I was in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Because in Bushwick, Brooklyn, people are just talking about folks like Show or Sept or DG and
Yeah, DG was. I wish
PF
I had met him.
and folks like that, you know.
Yeah, DG was one of the people I would have definitely wanted to meet, and also I would have definitely have wanted to meet. Oh my God, now I can't think of his name. Oh God,
Yeah,
he used to.
Oro. Yeah, who else is out there on my way? Local cats like Zod, Naz,
Yeah,
Trini from BRC crew, Kabul with CGK and those guys, Eli and them. Yeah, BSK. We just lost a member from Bushwick's BSK crew.
yeah,
EI, may he rest in peace.
yeah.
So
Bones brother's the one that I'm trying to think about. Bones brother, I forgot what he right now. Frankie Bones, his brother.
was it Roaches?
No, Roach TFB. No, no.
Who else?
Oh my God, I can't think of his
That
name now.
sounds
But he
familiar.
he was one of the people that I would have liked to have bombed with because he got up and he was doing top to bottom whole cars and just smashing shit. So it would
No.
have been nice to have met him. He's
Yeah.
actually still like still doing stuff here and there. And that man, I can't believe I can't remember his name. Getting old sucks, bro.
Well, let's see who was I can name. Maybe this stir some jar your memory, whatnot. Because like I said, I've been kind of in and out, whatnot, as well. We had Jaws, of course. Easy
Easy's partner.
Jaws,
Yeah.
Vec Four. Um, who else was out there? Vfer, JA, of course. Who he had,
Ven,
a
Ven,
short war
Ven,
with. Ven.
Ven, 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 little Ven. Yep. Ven is
Wow.
the one that I would have because his stuff, his car, they were just so big and so clean that's what attracted me to it. I was like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
when I started looking at some of the stuff, I was done already, but I would still get, and I was like, man, this guy's got some nice stuff. He's definitely got some nice stuff.
He was the guy that rode with this guy, Ghost.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's
Yep.
Ven or AOK crew. Reese and those
RIS.
guys. RIS.
RIS and AOK. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Shout
Gotcha.
out King. Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, let's talk about, like, it looks like you have a very, very deep, immersed relationship with your crew. And if you got all these crews kind of like this conglomeration, quite frankly, of crews across the board, then it's you probably get a lot of phone calls. Your phone's probably ringing off the hook because you've got folks all around. I mean, U5 was
That's a
not
fact.
that big, compared to something like, the drug crew. We were actually five small crews, neighborhood crews that merged together to create U5 United. Thus, the word U5 United Five. But it seems like
Yeah.
you guys were all over the place. So, what's your relationship with your crew members now? It seems like it's pretty tight knit.
Oh yeah, everybody that we have an agreement. Everybody breaks bread. We have no beef in the crew. We do not have beef. We do not do like everybody else on the internet where you got clowns out there talking trash and stuff like that. We have no internet tough guys.
Cool.
I don't allow it in the crew. Everybody's got to get along with each other. If you got a problem with the person, work it out. It's not a crew thing. That stuff is for children. Most of the guys that are down with drug crew are in their 50s and 60s. So we're men. We're not little boys. We don't need to be
Right.
doing that dumb shit. I'm definitely in touch with every single one of my members in the 5 boroughs. As a matter of fact, I just had to speak to the president out here in Florida, my boy H2O, yesterday. His house burnt down and his car, so we're kind of doing like a little GoFundMe for him thing. Um, I also spoke
That's
to
good.
today. I spoke to my boy Demo, who's the president of TPA. Yesterday I spoke to Ban too, who's second person in charge of OTB. I'm always in touch with Kit 17. I'm always in touch with everybody that wants to be in touch with me. Everybody that's relevant, and my boy Sar, always holding it down. He's the pres and out there in oh my God, I can't even think now. It's like Texas area.
But it
Losing.
must be difficult because, like, U5 was like my baby, you know, like I am still one of the presidents of the third chapter of U5 for, you know, for the crew in itself. We had 5 chapters, and each chapter has a prez. And like when it was created, you know, I'm the type of person, if I get involved with something, then I take it to the limit, right? I take it to the extreme. Like that's something that I'm going to the grave with, basically. You know, it's something that drives me, motivates me. And when you
Yeah.
see circumstances that occur within the crew, you have people that leave the crew, people that have a falling out with other members. It kind of strikes at you because it's like, you know, you're causing this havoc within this system, and it's you know, it's kind of heartbreaking sometimes as well, and it's difficult sometimes
Yes.
to deal with. So with something that huge, have you had? I'm pretty sure you've had your score of times in which like people in your crew are like it feels like they're going against the grain, so to speak.
Not really guys that are in the crew. I don't know if you know the history as far as us get invested and stuff like that. Um, we have probably about I'd say about 100 members that are actually vested. Every one of my prezes have a vest. We are not outlaws. We don't represent the outlaw. We do have people. We have plenty of outlaws that are down with us. We have, you know, plenty that are down with us, but we do not represent our vest as that. But when I started the vest thing, so many haters, man, and they thought that I was gonna fold. And I was like, listen, you got the wrong motherfucker. Excuse my
Yeah,
language, but you got the
yeah,
wrong one. I'm not folding. My dad couldn't tell me what I could and couldn't wear. Ain't nobody gonna tell me. So I had all of these tough guys hit me up telling me I can't do this, I can't do that. And I was like, listen, you could say whatever you want, do whatever you want, but we're wearing our vests respectfully. We're not going to wear them to bars. We're not going to wear them biking. We're not going to wear them to events other than graffiti events and events that hold gatherings for us. So it's a graffiti club. We have
right,
no badges on us that say 69, 13, 1%er. We have none of that stuff at
right.
all.
That's
So
interesting because that goes back into the previous conversation we had before we started getting, you know, really deep into this conversation. Um, the 70s, you know, right after the 69, all that transpired in 69, including the great birth of Jay Torres, myself. You had a lot of, it was a pretty tumultuous period. I always recall one of my uncles was deeply involved with, you know, the motorcycle gangs from the South Side. And so that whole era, all you hear about is the Hell's Angels, of course, in Cali. But in our area, you had the Phantom Lords, and you had the Devil Rebels, and all these other motorcycle gangs. How were you able to go and distinguish yourself, and you know, show that there's a stark difference between them and you guys? Because no one will know the difference. They see someone walking with a vest right there, they immediately start thinking, "Oh, this guy is trouble." You
yeah,
know, this is a tough guy.
vest didn't start. Our vest didn't start until like maybe 6, 7 years ago. Before that though, I'll show you something if I could get to it. Hold on 1 second. Um, but this is we had one of my first crews, which was in 1976. Also, was GOB Sinners. Um, and that's actually the original. That's off of my shirt. We used to rock those back in the 70s and early 80s.
Okay.
Um, we had no beef because we had connections with other crews. We had connections, like I said, with Grant Crew, Glenmore Crew, RCC, McKinley Boys, East New York Squad. You know, like East New York Squad had Radar, Dragon, Taboo, um, McKinley Crew. You know, it had Richie. There's so many. Grant Crew had
Hmm.
Vinny, Victor, Willie. You know, a Glenmore Crew had Chick Two. You had Cholo Rock. You had so these were like significant crews that they were very. I mean, you also had Hardy Boys. You had the Sex Boys. You had you know these are all guys like Little Louie, rest in peace. He was one of the guys that you know would be around all the time, and everybody respected everybody to a point. because we weren't dicks. We weren't assholes to each other. We never threw anything around and just, acted like whatever. We were the graffiti writers that would put up their crew or do this or do that, so, but that's, that's why we were able to do what we did. And as far as like how I got away with what I did back in those days, I have no idea. I used to go into the Bronx. I used to like seriously, I don't know how I got away with it. I mean, here I am, a white dude going to the pink houses, and just at will whenever I wanted to go. I had no beef because I met people like, rest in peace, my brother JS just passed away, KC, another one that was there all the time, and big help was Plus and his boy, that was there all the time. Oh my God, man, I'm really my head is off today. But his boy that was there all the time would watch out for us and
Right.
not let that happen to us. So I'd have like free run at going to the A yard all the time, and that was like under Linden Plaza, right under the pink houses. So it was like I said, how I got away with doing it, I don't know, man. It wasn't in my head. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it. I'd go to, I'd go to Grant. I'd be down in Grant by myself. And that's most of the time I was a solo bomber. Like I'd go to New Lots and I'd be there and Duro would come in, or Ron One or Sec or Vel or all of these people, they would come in there and they'd see me. I never, and nobody could ever say, I never got robbed. Nobody ever robbed me. So
I
that,
think
that,
that area, Grant layup, there was a layup there in Grant, right? And the
yes.
A's and CCs and whatnot. And I remember we were bombing that area, and that we bumped into RSW crew, I believe. I think this is after a time, whatnot, the Rockaway Subway Riders or something like that. I don't know,
Yeah,
Crash and some other folks. And we bombed the train there, and guess what? That train wound up coming out in Coming to America. I think my cousin came out in that movie, the GA. He wrote
It's
GA.
funny you say that. I came out in that movie too, and the funniest thing, it's funny you say KSW, bro, because AI and AZ. If you look at the train when the doors open, you could see my BO throw up, and AI and AZ both went over my throw ups. So it was a good thing I left at the time. That's all I'll say. I'll keep it peaceful. But they knew I was gone already. And on the inside, when the doors open, you could see the BO Love 2 Sweet tag. That was when I was going with 2 Sweet.
That was what I wanted to ask you. Like, what did you when you wrote when you didn't fully write Bond, you wrote BO then, right?
I always wrote BO for Bond 1. Yeah, because for
Wow.
me, I wanted to get up as much as I could. And to write Bond, the only time I wrote Bond is when I did pieces.
Now,
And 90%.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't there
yeah.
another bow with TMR?
Maybe after
Maybe.
TMR came out after me.
Okay, because I always that name kind of strikes a bell because I heard him in, of course, but yeah, I think he didn't even actually write Min, he write NE or something else instead of his name, but with the RTW crew.
Oh, you're talking about BOE, Bo. BOE.
Oh, it's with an E? Okay.
Bo. Yeah, that's Bo. Yeah, that's the dude that when it came to Coney Island. Yeah, that was BOE. He was in the same time as I was too. Maybe a little bit later. He came out maybe about 2-3 years later than me. He did a lot of damage. But that was the RTW Wow crew, and they definitely did damage with Min was rocking whole cars, and they were doing some sick stuff.
I remember going like we didn't. I traveled mostly on the J train, the double L one. They had the double L's, right? The M train. This is before the Z came out, obviously. But when we take rides out there on the A's, the C's, the F's, the D's, we see people like Conan. I see his name up a lot. Dole, folks like that. And by the way, like the drug crew, do you guys have get-togethers? Do you guys go out and do rock giant walls? Because I see a lot of that happening with other crews in Brooklyn, like the Lookout crew. I see those folks getting busy. Demon and his boys, they're always getting busy. So I was wondering whether you guys did the same.
We're more involved in basically we do get-togethers. We have get-togethers at the Firefly Pizzeria. We also have get-togethers out here in Florida. We have get-togethers in Pennsylvania. I tell my guys whenever they want to do anything, I'm willing to throw the pizza party for them. I just don't buy the alcohol and stuff like that because I'm not going to be responsible for the handicaps that happen after that. But yeah, so we do have a lot of gatherings and stuff like that. And for me, I keep it real, bro. No disrespect to the guys that are doing walls and painting, but these guys, they paint walls on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday they're broke. And they're doing the same walls and stuff like that. We're not into that. We don't get into doing that stuff. It's great. I mean, absolutely. You said LOC. Those guys that were incorporated with LOC. Those are my boys. You know, Boltism's my brother. Adam's my brother. Sire. BM. You know, those are my dudes and shit. So
Yeah, those are the folks that I grew up watching. You know, Atom, Atomic, you know, PF, PE, Peak. Out in the South Side, I see some other folks like Kev. I see a lot of Kev, KEV.
Kev, yeah, Kev used to smash. Kev and KM, they both used to smash shit, bro. I used to see that shit too when I was bombing. Yup.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys that never got recognition, bro, that did a lot of damage, bro, was AC and his brother Joe Nuts, bro. Those dudes were every train I got into, bro. AC and his brother had tags in that shit,
Yeah.
bro. And P13 and OE, same
13.
thing, bro.
OE, yeah, Baby 168. Yo, those folks are, yeah.
Yeah, Baby 160 was my dude. And see, a lot of these guys wanted me to go, like you said, the M's, the LLs, the J's. I went to the M yard like 3 or 4 times. I went with Risco, who used to write Minor 49er and MT 193. And I went with him. I went with the original CS, Crazy Same, Rojo, Tor, my boy Deem. We went there I went there one time with them, but then I would go with Risco. I would go with Tor. And I never liked that yard because the trains were so freaking bombed that you couldn't get any spaces. And I wrote BO, it was small. I still, so you'd start beefs. That's how a lot of beef started. So I was like, you know what? I didn't like it. So I stuck to my A's, the CCs, and then I realized, you know, I met Dondi, and Dondi and Duro took me to New Lots. And then I knew about Ron One, and Ron One was my boy, and Ron One at that time was a crazy motherfucker, bro. So he didn't care. So he showed me that, and I was like, I'm gonna go by myself. So I'd go there and I'd run into Vel, I'd run into Sec, I'd run into Ron One, you know, and it was always a good time. And those trains were clean. So there was never going over anybody, you know. So one time Duro came and picked me up and he wanted to do a piece on the outside. And I'm like, all right. So he did my outline for me. He did his, and I started doing some of the thing. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to go hit insides. And I just started smashing insides, and I forgot that my piece was on the outside.
I think I've got one of Duro's stickers from like the 80s that I pulled off of a wall years ago. I still have it in my sticker collection from Duro. And the guy Tor, Tor, he's the reason my brother used to write. He wrote something else before he writes now, which is Poor. And he actually changed his name because he knew Tor. And he said, man, you know what? I'm going to switch and change my name to Poor. And he went on with that. But
there's actually 3 tours. There's Tor, there's an original tour from like 71, 72, 73. That's my boy that's down with Drug Crew also. He doesn't write anymore. He's an outlaw. And then there's the other tour, TD4, that was my boy from Franklin K. Lane. That was my dude. And then there was another tour in Franklin K. Lane that wrote Tore. His name is Jose. He's also in drug, you know, so that's a funny thing, bro. But Tor was another dude that was killing shit back in the day, bro. Tor TD4, that dude had shit on lock too, man. A lot of these guys. And another guy, I got mad love for PO, the President TMB, the original President TMB. But when PO came out, Sis Hood, Scan, PO had the A's on lock. I mean, he was smashing. That's another guy, you know, Frankie.
What about Remo? Did you ever bump into a guy named Remo? No. So let's see. I had a couple other questions I really wanted to get at you with the graph scene now as it is. I know you haven't been tagging and hitting the train, none of that stuff in a while. But the graph scene now as it is, you know, the train stopped after Mayor Koch. He started that whole push for cleaning the trains. 89, they were done. Then you had other mayors come in, of course, Giuliani, Bloomberg, all the others, whatnot. A lot of the graffiti went back into the highways. I remember highway kings like Fib. He was out there smashing stuff. Trap was out there as well. It was just a whole host of folks that
Yeah.
actually went from the streets on the trains. Then the train stopped, and then it went back onto the highways and into the streets.
A lot of people don't mention the guys also when graffiti stopped, whatever. But Staten Island had shit on smack too, bro. Those dudes, 9 Volt, Goal, Mutts, Peppy, those guys were killing the streets and
Oh,
freights.
I did. I only hit Staten Island one time because I said I'm gonna do all city in a day. So I jumped in the car, me, HD, Arion. I think there was this chick that rode Brat. And we went out to all the boroughs one night. We just smashing all of them. And Staten Island, I had never hit Staten Island before. Went out there, did my thing over there in Staten Island, and yeah, I saw Goal up a lot out there. But
That dude smokes stuff, bro. His style, he's nasty, and he does the most. He was one of the first people to do those major like 12 foot pieces, bro. I mean, and just smoke it, bro. Just smoke it. And not like I said, I like to give love to the people that don't get love, and he
yeah,
would the a lot of people forget about Staten Island, and Staten Island had a lot of writers come out of there, man. You got Doc 109 that came out of this. I mean, there's so many people that
Ribs,
came.
Gak crew, right? Gak,
Yeah,
Ribs.
yeah. Ribs
Yeah,
is from there.
yeah.
Gano.
He used to do my
He,
shirts. I think he might have done this shirt.
there you go. There you go.
He used to
Yeah,
silk
yeah,
screen him. Yeah. It's
yeah,
funny you mentioned that. And they always talk about Staten Island as being the forgotten borough, and you hear that all the time. But yeah.
yeah. For sure, for sure. But I mean, not for nothing. Like everybody steps on everybody else's toes for, oh, the Bronx did this, Brooklyn did that, Queens did this, Manhattan did this, Staten Island did this. But at the end of the day, that's the problem. Everybody wants to talk about their own, and nobody gets into the other stuff. And by forgetting about the other stuff, you're forgetting about the whole thing in graffiti. Like you were just touching on, which was the best part of this whole thing, was like, what do I think about graffiti now? It's not graffiti anymore. It's art. When you have the time and
Right.
you have the legal to be able to do whatever you want, it's not graffiti anymore. The definition of graffiti is to do something illegally and get it and steal your paint and do. There's no S. There's none of that's involved in it anymore. So it's not graffiti.
Yeah.
It's
And
still keeping graffiti going. It's still a part of the culture. Like, there's still a lot of people. You got guys like Flav that are still busting walls every week. You got guys like I said, LO Secret, still busting walls every week. That's absolutely, they're putting graffiti on the wall, but it is not graffiti anymore because it's legal.
so it's
Now
kind of
you got
like,
guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
what do you think about and that's a valid point. And to your point, what about organizations like in Bushwick? I mean, for me, people like Show, people like Audi U5, one of the presidents of the crew, and other prominent artists within Bushwick. Like, we should have been like the talk of the time. We should have been the legends coming out of Bushwick, but no. Fast forward that 10 years later, now it's the Bushwick Collective. Now you've got some artists that are not graffiti artists. They got some great artwork, but it's
Yeah,
not graffiti per se like we know it, because you don't
nope.
have that element. You don't have that thing where you're looking, to your left and right, or any cops out there. Is Vandal Squad going to roll up on you? Is another crew going to roll up on you? I mean, is a store owner going to come out with a shotgun? None of that is there. The Bushwick Collective, they got great, shows they put on each summer, whatnot, and a lot of great artwork. But things like that. Banksy was another one, with his artwork throughout the city and worldwide, and he's popular. But graffiti
Once
artists,
they started letting that happen is when they watered it down. And when you got people that are out there doing murals with paintbrushes and taking and doing cuts with cardboards and doing that's not. Listen, when Dondi was doing those whole, could you imagine if Dondi, Lee, Zephyr, could you imagine if these guys literally had that kind of time and clearance, seen? I mean, the cars would have been, forget about it. They would have been Picasso's coming out. I mean, they were gorgeous as it was, but think about if they had the time to do what they're doing now. back then. It would have been, forget it. So you had to literally back then, if you had, 2 hours to do a piece, you were lucky. You were lucky. And you didn't want that though. You wanted to get in there and get out of there. You didn't want to sit there for 2 hours. You wanted to get your piece on there and get out, and that was it. Now you got guys like here, they just had the art basel. When they have art basel, you could literally sit there for 2-3 days and do your piece. So you don't have to just bust it out and then whatever.
I
You
think
could
they
sit
had
there.
that in Coney Island. Weren't they doing something like that in Coney Island as well? Where they have the big walls and like
Wellington, there's one in Queens, Wellington Court. There's another one, Wellington Court.
wow.
That one, there's another one that's legal walls, and so they're all over the place. But that's what has literally destroyed the word graffiti. There's no graffiti writers anymore. Now there are some guys out there. I got a few guys that are live that are hitting streets and stuff in my crew that have been doing some damage and doing stuff. I'm not going to mention their names because I don't want to get them on the list, whatever. But they're doing stuff. There's also guys, a lot of the dudes from OQB, Old Queen Boys, that have been doing some nice stuff. But I got mad love for Bobby and them. Those guys keeping it 100, bro. They're doing graffiti. SAR's still doing graffiti on freights. Still, these guys are just keeping it alive. That's real graffiti. So they're doing what they got to do to keep it alive. But as far as doing murals and stuff like that, I got love for it. I see some of the stuff and I'm like, wow, it's just amazing. It's a part of the culture, but it's not graffiti. It's just too much. It just you turn around and you got everybody saying that hip hop is a part of hip hop started graffiti. No, graffiti was out way before hip hop. I don't care. They want to say that Cool Herc started.
You were the first element of hip hop, actually.
Exactly. They want to say that Cool Herc started in 73, whatever. That's fine. If you want to say that, then I started in 74. I was writing my name in books in 74. But did I write it on walls? And no, come on. So hip hop was not really known until the Sugar Hill Gang, actually till King Tim III. When King Tim III came out with that record, that was it. And then you had, like I said, you had Sugar Hill Gang. Then you had the other guys like Uncle Cool J, Run DMC, Jam. That's when the hip hop started. But they want, everybody wants to be the first. They want to be the best. They want to be the only. They want to be. You got Cornbread out there saying that he started the original thing in the book. It was I started in 69. Then he did something else. I started in 67. Now he's saying he started in like 61. And there's literally 3 times that he legitimately posted in books: 69, 67, and 65.
Really?
That makes it look horrible. And I got love for Cornbread because he's definitely a part of.
It's a pioneer. Like Taki, you can't. There's no doubt. When I came across Taki 183, it was through microfiche. Like I'm using microfiche, looking at who's this guy Taki, and learning about it on microfiche. So that kind of dates me. How do you feel about what happened there at 5 Points?
That sucked. I went there 2 or 3 times and there was nobody there when I went there. It was like surprise visits. I came down from the Poconos. I always wanted to see and be a part of what happened there. That was something that was historic, that was destroyed, that should have never been destroyed. It's sad, but that was definitely the ending. That right there was the ending of graffiti. When they took that down, that was the ending of graffiti right there for me. From when I seen that, I was like, oh man, that's it.
Well, you probably remember or probably recall when the Brooklyn Twin Towers, which was those big sugar, what was that? It was like the Domino sugar buildings that kind of like rounded, whatnot.
Yes.
They were imploded, right? They were collapsed.
Yeah.
Where were you on September 11th when the Twin Towers came down? Any effect on you personally? Any experiences with that? Any family that had any experiences or friends?
For 9/11, I got a lot of friends. Demo was there firsthand. Demo TPA Prez. SAR was there, now acting Prez for TMB. He was there front line. My mom and dad were 2 blocks away at the Jacob Javits Center doing business. They were buying out, stuff for business. And that's me, myself. I was working for Frederick's Air Conditioning Company at the time. And we were pulling air conditioning units out of the high schools and stuff. And we had just left Brooklyn and just got out of there in time before they locked everything down. I was living in Staten Island at the time, on Token Street. And right after that happened, I said, man, this is just, and I actually left and I moved here to Florida. I moved here
So
to Florida in 2001.
yeah, I was still in the military. I was actually stationed in New York City as a U.S. Army recruiter when that occurred. So, we had a lot of folks that were just flooding our office to join because, the patriotism came out. A lot of vets are coming in. Most of them, didn't qualify to come back in, but it was pretty outrageous. During that period, September 11th, never forget that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and mention. I'm just gonna go and blurt out some names, some artists. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. If you have, say heard of him, good art or whatever. A quick comment, and we just keep it moving. Let's see. First one, Adam, ATOM.
That's my brother, LOC.
Right. Tracy, 168.
Rest in peace, my brother, Wild Style Prez.
Webb, 113.
Web, which there's five different ones.
Yeah, how about Weber, like Web 1?
Okay, so the web that smashed with the whole cars that were blasted, that's my boy. Then Webster, which wrote Web also, another one of my boys. But then you got there's so many, so it's just, but Web, I just actually hung with Web 2 years ago here in Miami at the Art Basel thing, and he did a 2-page black book for me, and he did another page for me. But that's my boy from East New York. Yeah, that's my dude.
About Stack, FUA crew.
I know this dude from FUA is my boy and shit. Oh man, he's gonna get pissed at this one. But yeah, I got like we're incorporated with FUA, but I can't. I don't know him personally.
Kev, KEV.
Smash shit back in the day.
Yeah.
Never
Duster.
met him. Duster UA.
Yes.
Good dude, man. Funny dude. Real cool dude.
Fogs, 501.
Who?
Fogs, 501 crew.
Never met him. I've seen some of his stuff.
RD, 357.
That's my boy, man. Crazy motherfucker, bro. A lot of people don't get him. I do, bro. He's a cool dude, bro. That's one cool dude right there, man.
JA, Ecstasy.
Another guy I would have loved to have bombed with, Chino's boy. Definitely put shit on Smash, killed a lot of stuff. Hear a lot of stuff about him, this, that. But at the end of the day, his history is everything. He's got a good history.
MQ.
I met that dude once at a show and didn't know who he was until afterwards. And I was like, oh shit, I wish I would have got him in my book.
Vifer.
That dude had the freaking streets on smash. When I used to drive back and forth over the bridge going from Staten Island to Jersey, I used to see his stuff and I was like, man, this guy's killing shit. Yep.
Easy.
That's my boy, man. Got mad love for him, bro. I see him whenever we go do the Art Basel thing. I got a funny story, bro. In 2015, one of the Art Basels, he came down with Kit, and me and Easy went our way, and we were hanging out, and they had these little mini cans. I think I still got
like the testers.
Yeah, bro. Liquid Tech was there. So, dude, I got this is it right here.
Wow, that thing's tiny, man. I never
Yeah,
seen
bro.
one
They're like, yeah. So long story short, though, bro, me and Easy had like 600 of these things, bro. We Yo, you talked about we lit up. We lit up Florida, bro. Yo, we were so we had such a blast, bro. It was great, bro. That's my first encounter with him, and it was a great encounter. Had a great time. I actually got to meet his other boy. I don't know if they're still talking, whatever, but Another dude that was cool with me at the time was Sen 4.
Send for
He's
right.
one of the guys. So, but dude, I could show you. I got so much like,
Wow.
yeah,
Gotta
I
be
got.
kidding me.
Yeah. So I got
Yeah.
Here's another one,
Yeah.
and this one's hit by Ron English. Ron English hit this one in Kit 17.
Yeah.
If you ever want anything, do graph stuff. This is some of my
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm just starting to put something together here in our shop here for U5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a collector as
I
well.
got
I
this.
collected comic books, back in the day. That's got a heck of a lot of comic books, but I got a lot of anything Americana, anything
Yeah.
Americana, that's me. Yeah.
This is one of my book collections. So if you ever need any like history for graffiti and stuff like that, books and that, and I got like a bunch that I got, thank God. My boy Bones and Chino back in the day blessed me and put me down in a few books. But then there's more like stuff here.
Okay.
And then I got this is the where I got the best. That's like my best books, and I got like black books and all
You're
kinds.
probably missing mine then. If you don't have my book that I wrote back in the days, then I'll send you a copy.
Which one is it? Oh no, as a matter of fact, I wanted to get that. I do have. There's another one though. Oh my God. Yes, this one here. New York City Black Book. I got like 24 pages in that book.
Wow.
Of my black book and stuff like that. And then I'm in this one here, New York City Graffiti. There's a bunch, bro, that my stuff is actually in, but
And that's not even touching upon magazines, because back in the days, man, we used to go and do our graffiti magazine. I got a few over here in the showcase, Graph News and my own fine print magazine. But
you talk about collecting comic books, bro. Here, look.
Oh man, we got a lot of talking to do then.
Dude, these are cases of graded comic books, bro. These are all like cases of graded comic books and shit.
Yeah.
I still got my records from when I used to DJ.
Wow.
These are all trains. And that's one room, bro. Here's another room, bro. I got so much shit, bro.
You know who's also big in comic books? Demmer.
Just rooms filled, bro, of yeah, that's
He's
my
got
boy.
a comic
Never
shop.
tried
He's got
buying
a comic book shop and whatnot.
New Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey.
Right.
Yep.
Right, Demmer.
Yeah.
I went bombing with him on 121 layup. I met him in a 121 layup.
Yeah, Oxford, Greenwood, right? Oxford and Greenwood.
Yep.
Yeah. I used to hit that elevated station back in the day. That shit, every time I go there, bro, that shit would scare the shit out of me because it was so high up. And don't forget, at the time
No. 121 layup. The last stop there, and it was the J train all the way out there, the J.
Oh, okay. You're talking about, all right. I thought you were talking about the
past
elevated.
Jamaica Queens, past where 50 Cent was from.
Yes.
121.
I thought you were talking about Oxford and Greenwood and that, because that's where Demi used to hit a lot of his stuff too, out that way. He used to hit the A's and the Ridgies and the Ding Dongs over there.
Yeah. So going back into the names here, let me continue here. FN from GTF Crew.
Yeah, he did a lot of work too. Yep. Like his throw-ups. Those throw-ups are tight.
Fib, FIB.
Oh, another guy that smashed. Love his stuff too. Absolutely.
Lee
TF5, Fabulous 5.
Right.
Definitely one of the biggest contributors to what made me stay into graffiti. I loved seeing his walls that he did, the Howard the Duck wall, the one with the lion that he did several times over. His trains, the mom, just so much, so diversified. I met him like 4 or 5 times in passing, never got to actually hang out with him and be able to like spit anything with him or anything like that, but he definitely a monster.
I think he appeared in that movie Bomb the System.
Yes, and he's also in Wild Style. He was
Yeah,
also in the
Bomb
movie
the
Wild
System
Style.
was an awesome movie. Awesome movie.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
how about uh, how about newer folks like Spot, SPOT, Spot?
Don't know him.
How about Show?
Show isn't he the one who just passed away?
He did. He passed away a few years back. Yeah, Show. He used to write with Sept and Dean.
He was a big dude, right? He was a real big dude. Yeah, that dude. He had some nice stuff too, man. His dad used to write also, didn't he? Show's
Don't know
dad
about
wrote,
his
I think.
dad. He grew up in Bushwick. He's a Bushwick guy.
Yeah,
His name was Hector.
yeah, yeah. I remember hearing about him and
How
seeing
about
his stuff.
King B?
Oh, that dude is nasty. I got him on a map. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Definitely a great artist for sure. Yes,
so
humble cat too.
let's see. You have any favorite graph movies?
I'd actually want to say, Dreams Don't Die.
Dreams Don't Buy. Okay.
Dreams Don't Die is one of my, and the reason why is that was really unedited, pure seeing graffiti at
Hmm.
its best. And if you took that and looked, it was really there, you would see who was killing the subways. Every train, if you watch that movie, Risco is on and he got no notoriety at all.
Man,
He wrote Risco, he wrote RO, he wrote MT193, and he wrote Minor 49er. He kinged with every one of those names.
wow.
Every one of those names. And never got any recognition for anything. That's why I love that movie, because you see
Hmm.
the stuff and it's like, yeah, that's my boy right there, you know?
Well,
Because we used to go to Franklin K. Lane.
let's go into two bombing stories. Can you give me a story of like when one of your scariest or alarming moments writing graffiti?
Oh, I got a few good ones. I got one where um this was later on in graffiti, almost towards the end of my probably like 82, 83, when they started putting the barbed wire up on the A yard. And I used to carry clippers with me. So I clipped the fence, and it was me, we, and Zinc. And Zinc was tiny and we was kind of small too. So they got in and went over the side and did what they had to do. And then um, I wound up pushing the fence to the side. And when I did it, it collapsed on my foot. And I
Oh,
got caught a little bit, but I got out and I didn't realize it. So I'm in the train bombing and I'm hearing, and I'm like, what the, and he goes, yo, you got red ink all over the place. And I'm like, I didn't have red ink. I was killing with mosh at that time.
uh,
The mosh black with purple in it, because
oh,
I had stolen. I had so much, it was crazy. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I looked down, my I cut myself so bad it hit like an almost like an artery, I guess, whatever. But my sneaker was filled with blood.
wow.
So I left from there, had to go. I went to the hospital, which was right across the street from the whatchamacallit, from the yard there, and I had to get 6 stitches. So that was one of the fun, but one of the I wasn't really in that many raids, so but one of the funniest raids that I was in was, it was me, KC, Reps, YD, and I think JS was there. So we're in Grant. And whenever I went in Grant, I went down the tunnel, I would turn the light bulb out. This way you couldn't see what we were doing there. So I turned the light bulb out and it would shut the one there. It would skip one and shut the other one there. So I wasn't worried because I wasn't doing outside. I was doing insides. So I'm bombing the inside, bombing the insides, bombing the insides. And I know I was ahead of everybody. So all of a sudden I hear something and I hear, and I'm like, oh, I knew right away it was a cop. So I went through the first door and I locked it because I always had my key. And that's what saved everybody from getting busted. If I wouldn't have locked that door, the cop would have came through and he would have went right by the stairs and he would have. So long story short, I told Reps to come with me and follow me. So when I went on the dead side of Grant, where there was a train there. It was an A train, and it just stood there. And I went underneath, not realizing reps couldn't fit there. So reps had to go the other way.
Right.
And everybody went up through the stairs. And from what I heard, I think YD got caught, and Zinc. I think Zinc got caught. Not Zinc. Oh my God. I think YD got caught, or reps, either YD or reps got caught. And one of them, I think it was reps, wound up the next day. He had a lump on his head like that big from hitting his head on the train underneath. But
Whoa.
yeah. But as far as raids, I never really had raids. Great rack story. I mean, we used to go and oh my God. We used to go into the stores. We was like my partner at the time. So I would go and I'd have like 2 duffel bags, and I'd pass them off to we, and I'd tell him, we fill them up. I'll keep the guy, busy. And wherever we went, Martin Paint, Hermit Hob, wherever we went, he'd fill a bag and leave them there, and put them on the side. And then I'd walk around, and we'd just walk right out with them. And we never, ever got busted. The only time I ever got busted is I busted myself because I went with Midge and Sizer. I took them to Long Island. I came off and Midge came off. We both came off. We were already out the store. We're waiting for like 25 minutes. And I'm like, bro, I think Sizer got busted. So Midge goes in. He don't come back out. I'm like, motherfucker. I go in there. They pinch me. I had to get my father to come there, but they didn't get us for much because we stashed 90% of the paint that we already had outside. We used to take the paint and put it out. But that was the only, but we used to, I mean, oh my God. There was a place on Atlantic Avenue. It was like a warehouse, but a discount. I forgot the name of it, but it was and they had the small cans of the car paint, and they used to sell them for 10 cents or a quarter.
Yeah,
We
the
used to
touch-up
go in
paint.
there. Yeah, we used to go in there with these duffel bags that was size of bodies and fill them up, and they wouldn't even they just walk right out with it. Walk right out with it. And one time, this is a funny story. That's good. I guess Rab had gone there and racked up, and for his birthday, he stashed the paint underneath the train in Grant. I didn't know it was his. I found it, and I had a party with it. Well, he got pissed. God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Rab. But I wound up telling him. He was like, "Oh man, yo, that ain't right." Da, da, da. I was like, "Yo, when I see you, I'll give you some paint, whatever." I said, "But you're gonna leave it in Grant, bro. That's my home, bro. I know that place in, out, under, over. So." But that was one of the fun times that I had there too.
What was your favorite spot to hit? Any particular your favorite spot that you wanted to go and hit?
Between Grant and the A yard, I would probably say the A yard because there was more to do there. Grant, I would literally just go there to hang out and just go. And most of the times you went down there, the trains were bombed. So I would walk from Grant to Euclid, then Shepherd, Van Sicklin, Liberty, and then I'd leave from there and I'd go and I'd hit New Lots. And this
And
is by myself.
that's probably one of the most incredible descriptive ways to go and put it when you said you went down to Grant to hang out, because like folks at that era, like the folks that were just on the outside looking in at our subculture, like going inside the layups to hang out, like who does that? What is
Yeah.
what kind of person are you to go out there and be in the tunnels amongst the trains that are parked, and you got trains passing by and whatnot, and you got of course the work bums, and you got the Vandal Squad, and I don't know. Back in those days, it was perhaps Starsky and Hutch was still out, or what?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Tom and Jerry, they were all out but I never put myself in a position where I would be vulnerable to, when I did what I did, I finished and I left. I didn't hang out and like when I'd say hang out, it would be just like literally just hang out there and I didn't have my markers with me. I'd stash them because
Yeah.
in Grant, the train that was on the dead side would be there all the time. So I had the key. I would unlock the seat and put my markers, my ink, my paint underneath the seat. And then if I wanted to bomb, I would go, because back then people would think I was crazy, but I used to dress fresh too. So I would have my sheepskin on with my fresh creased jeans with shell top Adidas, and I'd go bombing like that. And they were like, "Yo, you're fucking nuts, bro." I'm like, "Yeah, that was just me. I just did that. That was the way I was."
So, do you have any children, and if so, are any of them involved in any of the elements of hip hop?
No children at all. Me, myself, and I.
Aside from graffiti, were you involved in any other forms of hip hop? You mentioned about DJing, which is one of the elements of hip hop as well. Tattoos? Were you a tattooist?
No, no, I got plenty, but never did. I
Okay.
actually got into DJing right before I was leaving New York. I got into DJing, and I took it with me when I went to the Poconos, and I started my own business there, Unique DJs, and I was doing.
Really?
Um, there was a very well known place called Mount Airy Lodge, and
You
they would have it
serious?
there.
All right, I'm gonna have to put the brakes on that because that was a place where I had my first honeymoon with my first
Yep,
wife.
yep. I used to
Who
DJ
knows?
there.
Maybe you DJ that day for a honeymoon.
Yeah, no, 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 no.
Poconos.
It was just it was just fun, you know. And then I did every once in a while. I did Marita's Cantina. I DJ'd there for a bit, which was actually Vogue's. They called it Vogue's also, Club Vogue. It was in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. But most of my DJing that I did was at the Summit. It was at Oakmont. It was at all resorts, and I did splash parties and stuff like that. And KC was my partner at the time. KC used to come with me when I used to DJ. So
DJing,
because
huh?
KC had moved down and was living with me in the Poconos for a while.
There was a couple notable graffiti artists that were DJs. Wasn't Bones one of them?
Frankie Bones. Yup. Yup.
Yeah. All right. Going back into drug crew, right? Anything that you want your listeners and the folks that are watching this video out there, graph heads and whatnot, to know about drug crew? Anything you want to get the word out? Anything that you want to go and dispel any rumors or anything about the drug crew in itself?
I don't give anybody that leaves anything negative my time and storage in my head. I won't give them that space because they're not worthy of it. I keep everything positive. Um, I put people on with us. I don't kick people out. I try to resolve before that situation happens. Um, we're a very well versatile crew. Like I said, we have gangbangers, we have street people, we have everything. We have people that will burn the best of the best. We got writers that are absolutely the best of the best that will sit there and go against anybody. Um, and then we have guys that were the best of the best bombers, you know, that were out there that did more work than anybody. But we're all humble. We all stay, you know, we just want to be a family that has fun, enjoys what's still left in our lives, and you know, try to keep the culture alive for what it was, and keep everything flowing so everybody remembers history of what it really is and not what his story. A lot of people like to throw his story out there, and
Right.
those are the ones that we don't allow to infiltrate drug groups. Everybody has real history. They don't come up with no BS and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. I just wanted to share something with the folks out there. Once again, this is U5 News Flash, and we're just kicking it here with Bond One, the prez and leader of Drug Crew. You've probably seen it before. I know that you've got some merch out there as well. Is there a way where folks can go and grab your merch? Who did they reach out to?
absolutely, just get in touch with me. We got literally over 200 designs and shirts, and we're working on more. Um, whenever anybody, like we've been doing hoodies, jackets, t-shirts, hats, you know, basically anything that we were going to get into doing, jogging pants and stuff like that, but it's just a little too much, the sizes and stuff like that
Right.
get so.
Well, other than that, I know that I wanted to go and pass condolences. I know that you lost your folks, and I just wanted to go and send my
Thank you.
condolences with
Thank
that.
you. Yeah.
And I saw there was a lot of artwork that others were doing on behalf of your loss, which I thought that was pretty tremendous.
Yeah.
And I really respect that. Um,
Yeah. I literally have over 40. I think I got like 43 canvases that people sent, which
yeah,
was
it was
amazing.
there was quite a lot out there. Um, all right, so one thing I wanted to also do was promote a local a business out there from Connecticut. They're called Rich Bars, and what I wanted to do was just share a little bit of what they have. Rich Bars is a small uh, business out there in Hartford, Connecticut, and they provide these pretty neat products. Let's see if I can go and share this real quick. The Rich Bars. Rich Bars, they've got all types of different products, namely, of course, the hygiene, where they fashion their soap. This one here is actually shaped like
A game stick.
a game
Nice.
dealer, right? Like Nintendo. So they're called Rich Bars. For you folks that want to get some of their products, simply send an email over to Rich Bars, bars with a Z, and that's RICHBARZ01. There's some of the folks at Rich Bars putting together the products at gmail.com. Once again, that's Rich Bars with a Z01 at gmail.com. Show some love, support that small business out there in Hartford, Connecticut.
You're always welcome to throw that on the Drug Crew page, bro. We're all about promoting. We got one of the people that's an old school writer from Brooklyn, that has a candle business. Um, I always promote him all the time also. So I love supporting small businesses. That's what it's all about. Support, support, support.
That's what's up. So we're gonna be wrapping this up real soon. But what I wanted to go also touch upon was perhaps any regrets in whether it came to graffiti or something that you said, "Damn, I wish I would have done this," or had I had the opportunity, I would have done this differently. Any regrets that kind of nag at you, so to speak?
Um, Personal life, yeah, but as far as graffiti, the only regrets I have is that I didn't stick around longer, to be able to meet some of the people that I would have loved to have met,
Hmm.
and I'd like to have finished out, on the clean train era, because I know I would have gotten involved with these people, and I would have definitely got up a lot more.
Hmm.
Most of my bombing was solo bombing, because at that time a lot of my friends were going into clubs and going out and getting high and drinking and partying. And I was never a part of that scene. That was the funniest thing with Drug Crew. A lot of people know, but some people don't know. I never touched a drug my whole life, not even weed. I smoked a joint here and there, which was, a little bit, but never did, what my friends were doing and stuff. And not to say anything bad about them, but it was just a funny
Yeah.
thing that you're the president drug crew and you don't do drugs. It's like I never got into it and never wanted to.
Right.
I was high on life, and I literally my high was going bombing every day. Um, had I not that yeah, I got one regret. Had I not found out about 2 years into bombing the A yard and hitting the side that was going into the buff house right as I was bombing it, yeah, then I would have got up a lot more and saved a lot more ink to be able to. I never realized it. until Is the Wiz told me, and he's like, bro, he goes, you're hitting that side. That side is going right into the buff house. And I was like, oh my God. It was just such a waste. And the A yard, you literally hit from anywhere from 10 trains to 25 trains.
There you go.
Trains, full trains, 7 cars. And I would smash every one of them on the inside. Every one. I would go and I would hit every car. I made sure I hit every car. And if I had paint on me, I made sure I took the last drop and whatever was left in that can, I made a homemade marker and I went and hit insides what was left in the can if it didn't come out. That's what I would do. So, but yeah,
Any last shout outs that you have for your folks out there? Once again, we want to definitely say that our hearts and thoughts are with H2O with the calamity that he's undergoing right now. Folks can go and help out. I'm sure they can go to GoFundMe and look it up and help out if they're
yeah.
able to. H2O. So, but any other shout outs you've got? For this session?
I got a bunch of shout outs, but I'll keep it general. Um, Basically all the guys for Drug Crew, they've supported me since I started this. You can't have a better crew. I don't consider myself really the prez. I consider everybody else in the crew the prez because they're the ones who are keeping it going. They all have respect and love for me, and I could actually say and thank everybody that incorporated with us. I do have a lot of tight friends, like Kid 17, Demo, Tease, RO, Seas, Feck. Um, there's so many that, Tracy was one of my, Fancy 168, I kept in touch with him all the time, rest in peace.
Right.
KC, my brother, I tried to keep in touch with him as much as I could. Unfortunately, he was hard to get a hold of. My boy Reps, mad love for him. YD, we're always in touch with each other. My boy got mad love for him. Turk 62, one of the first graffiti writers ever. Maybe even before Taki. He started in like 67, 68.
Wow.
Great
Good.
history from him. A lot of people tell you, he wrote with Tracy 168 in the beginning time. He wrote with all of these guys. Great guy. I got mad love to support. Tor, my boy Tor, the outlaw. There's so many. I could go on and on and on. But just love and peace for everybody, bro. I'm all about peace and love. Um, I give respect for those who give respect. And I just keep it real. I keep it 100%. I don't pull no bullshit because I don't want no bullshit pulled on me.
Gotcha. That's what's up. Once again, this is Radio U5 with U5 News Flash. This is episode 8. I'm over here with Bond 1, Drug Crew, Drug Crew, Drug Crew. Awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing your time and getting into like the nitty gritty and discussing Drug Crew, what you guys are all about, your history, some of your fantastic stories. Looking forward to meeting you in person next time out there in BK. Maybe we can get together, break bread or whatnot.
I actually live in Florida. I
You're
live
in
in
Florida
Florida.
now?
Always welcome. Oh, I've been in Florida for the last 25
Oh,
years.
okay.
You're more than welcome to come out here. My house is your house,
I
bro.
was just in Florida, Lakeland.
Oh, okay. I go out there quite often. There's a baseball card store out there called John and John's. I go out there all the time.
All right. Well, next time I fly into Florida, then I'll definitely hit you up. Meanwhile, you take care of yourself. Thanks for coming on the show, and we'll be keeping in contact.
Much love and blessings, and thank you for the opportunity, my brother. God bless.
All right. God bless. Peace.
U5 Drug Crew, brother.
That's what's up. Always.
Much love. Peace.
All right, guys. We're going to be wrapping this up with DUN, Done U5 on the track. This track is called In the End. Thanks again to the drug crew out there worldwide. Bond 1, thanks for coming on board. Everybody serious. Ask my boys to love like winners with a bad name. No sway.